Alright, in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to create the neighborhood project and house. Instead of drawing a house, I'm just going to draw a cart. I've already put some notes out on the website for that. And here I'll just demonstrate how to do it. So here I have NetBeans. I'm going to create a new project, a Java application. I'm going to call this carts. I don't necessarily need to create a main class, but we can leave it. Usually call my main. Put this where we can find it again because we're going to upload it. That's a good enough spot. Finish. Okay, so I have my main program in main. So the one thing I'm going to do in here is create a frame. Do the fix imports. I'm going to set the location of my frame. Set the title. Set the default close operation to the exit, otherwise the program doesn't close when you close the window. Frame.setVisible true. I'm going to run this. So another setting we might want to have in here is a size. Make mine 400 wide, 300 high. Okay, and here it is. Has nothing in there. The X does work. So in between this line and this line is where I need to add something for the frame to actually draw. Okay, so what I'm going to draw is a cart. So back here I'm going to say new Java class cart. This class's only purpose is to actually draw a cart. So it needs to have this one method. I call it draw. You could call it whatever you want. And in this, we're going to draw our actual cart. So we can do new rectangle for the body of the cart. And the body of my cart is going to start at, I'm going to use this one. Okay, so my body of my cart is going to start at, say, 10, 10, with a width of 50 and a height of 20. And I can draw that body. Just going to leave that as that for now. Okay, so the cart is going to be an object that can draw itself. This is what the book calls a shape class. So over here in my main, I need to have a component that I can add in. So I'm going to have a new Java class called cart component. Okay, and if we follow the book, we're going to put right here extends JComponent. Okay, that turns this class into a JComponent, and we can modify what happens with the JComponent. And all we want this JComponent to do is to be able to draw itself. So we need to override, and here's an easy way to find the overrides. Override a method. Any one of these things we can make this component do. But what I want it to do is down here, paint component. So I can generate that. We can leave that super.paint component, or we can take it out. Doesn't necessarily matter in this case. So the first thing I want to do is get a graphics 2D object instead of a graphics one, because I can do more stuff with the graphics 2D. When I try and just do this straight assignment, these aren't compatible directly, so I need to cast the one into the other. Okay, so now I can make a cart. And then I can tell the cart to draw itself. So this will be a component. What I need to do now is go back to my main and add that component. To my window. If I bring my window over, here's where my cart currently is at. So I'm going to put a couple wheels on there and call it good enough. So over here in cart, I need to make an ellipse. I'm going to make an ellipse 2D.double. Wheel equals new ellipse 2D.double, and here we have an x and y, which is top left, width and height. So my top left, I want it to be halfway down, so my cart is 20, so I'm going to make this 10. The x I'm going to put in. Width and height I'm going to make 5. Draw the wheel, run it, see how it looks. Okay, so it's on the top, pretty small. I want it on the bottom instead. So this is 10 up here. It's 20 high. So this would be 30 down instead of at 10. So I want it to go 25 on the Y. Okay. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger, like twice as big. And that again. And that looks a little bit better. So if you had created an actual grid and drawn out your points, you wouldn't have to do this trial and error thing. It's like on page 113. Okay, so I have a wheel there. I want to put another wheel over here. Just going to copy those two. Okay, this is the X, the Y. I just need my X to move over. Try 45, wheel 2. Okay, and there's my cart. So this is how the first part of the project should look. Okay, so now we're going to fix our cart so we can move it around. So in here I need to have an X and a Y location of where I'm placing my cart. So these are going to be my 0, 0 of my image. I'm going to create a constructor to create my cart with an X and a Y. These aren't going to modify, I can make them final if we want. Okay, so now I modify this so that every 10 here becomes X, and every 10 here becomes Y. So now this was 10, which is X left. Plus the 5 to get to 15. This would be Y top plus 15. Okay. This one here used to be 10, so it's X. Plus 35. This one here is Y top plus 15. Okay, so now all of my objects in here are relative to this X and Y location. So I can come back to my component. Instead of just a cart, I have to tell it where I want it. So let's place this one at 58, 45. Okay, so now this is 58, 45, and it draws from that point and around. Okay, this allows me to have two carts now. Okay, and these carts I can place anywhere by changing those parameters. Okay, so I have cart 1, cart 2. The last thing we need to do in our neighborhood is be able to scale these. Okay, so I'm going to send in a scale to here. I have to save this dot scale to refer to that one. Otherwise, that one will just overwrite itself. Again, we can make this final. Now, everywhere in here that I have a number, I need to multiply it by a scale. Okay, this rectangle is requesting integers. Scale is a double, so when I go double times an int, I get a double. I have to cast it back into an int to be usable here. same thing here. Actually, these are doubles, so these don't have to be cast back. You can just multiply them out. Okay. All right. So all I've done is taken every individual number and multiply it by my scale. So now when I create a cart, I have to tell it the size. So this one's going to be our original size. I'm going to make this one 1.5 times the size. Here's the original, here's the 1.5 times. Still in the same location. If you want, you can make another one or modify these. So if I wanted a half size one, I could go half size at 50%. And my cart becomes very small. Okay, that's the extent of those two assignments.